Okay, thank you, Scott. Welcome everyone here in the chambers this evening for the Kalamazoo City Commission meeting on this beautiful, beautiful Monday evening here in Kalamazoo. And also I want to recognize that we have two of our commissioners are on a trip representing Kalamazoo in our sister city of Numazu, Japan. So they will not be here. They're representing either wing here on each side of the dais, and I just hope they're having a fantastic time, and they're wonderful representatives from Kalamazoo. So that's fantastic. They're getting an opportunity to do that. So now I'm going to officially call this meeting of the Kalamazoo City Commission to order for Monday, July 21st, 2025. And the first order of business is roll call. Clerk Borling.
Commissioner Cooney. Present. Commissioner Decker. Commissioner Hoffman.
Present.
Commissioner Pradel.
Present.
Commissioner Wilson. Vice Mayor Hess.
Present.
Mayor Anderson.
Here. Thank you, Clerk Borling. May I have a motion to excuse Commissioners Wilson and Decker from the meeting this evening?
So moved.
I will call that. There we go. Okay, motion made by Vice Mayor Hess, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you, Commissioners. The motion passes. So we are getting into the first steps of our opening ceremony, and we are honored to have Father Bryce Buffenbarger here from the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church. And in a moment, I'll ask him to come forward. And just as a reminder, when I do, I'll ask for those of us that are here in the chamber to rise for the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Father.
And filling all things, who have revealed that you exist as an eternal act of self-giving love, who have also told us that perfect love casts out all fear. We ask that you fill us with that love so that rather than fearing the other, we may recognize your face in the face of those we encounter, and remember that we too can live in the freedom of self-giving service and love. Grant wisdom to those gathered here in a spirit of service to determine how the needs of those who live in this city can best be met. Grant patience and humility that discussion may be clear and productive, and grant a spirit of unity that overcomes the many temptations to fear and division, so that love may abound. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much again, Father. Appreciate it. We have a special proclamation this evening. I'm very proud to be participating in this, and this is I think a first for the city of Kalamazoo. One thing I do want to make sure that we're recognizing is that July is Disability Pride Month. So it's also there'll be a recognition that's happening, that's being organized by Disability Network. I believe that's coming up on the 25th. This week, and there'll be a special recognition of the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which occurred in 1990. But this evening, we have a special proclamation recognizing Renita McGuire. And Renita is from Kalamazoo and 2025 Miss Wheelchair Michigan. Welcome. You can come forward. I'll come down, and Commissioner Cooney is going to read the proclamation.
Okay. Hi. Whereas a queen turns her pain into power, and Renita McGuire has been doing that her entire life. Renita was born with arthrogyroposis. Exactly. A rare birth condition that limits the range of motion in her arms and legs. To compensate, she taught herself to do many things with her mouth, including drawing, painting, DJing, and DJing. and many daily tasks. She is also a survivor, overcoming rough circumstances along the way, including childhood in the foster care system, homelessness, and sexual and domestic violence. And whereas Renita never quit or gave up on her dreams of a bright, purposeful life with independence and full autonomy, she worked incredibly hard to accomplish what most believed was impossible: getting herself off the streets and into college. Renita is a graduate of Kalamazoo Valley Community College, Western Michigan University, and has a master's degree from Kendall College of Art and Design. And whereas for the last 5 years, Renita has been an adjunct fine arts professor, she teaches at KVCC and KCAD, where she is the first wheelchair-using professor at both schools. Her students learn so much from her, not just about art, but also about determination and perseverance. And whereas Renita has been a professional, globally recognized DJ for 25 years, and is the only DJ in the world that can spin records with her mouth. Through all these accomplishments, Renita has been showing the world just how determined a woman with a disability can be, proving people wrong since the day she was born. And whereas in January 2025, Renita competed for and won the title of Miss Wheelchair Michigan 2025. The competition is based on advocacy, one's accomplishments as a person with a disability, and their positive impact on the disability community. Throughout the year, Renita has been advocating for a disability pride celebration in West Michigan, for more accessibility in the state and nation, and for smashing stereotypes with her incredible story of perseverance and determination. And whereas Renita's platform, quote, adversity to advocacy, becoming the role model I never had, unquote, is about educating, empowering, and encouraging young and newly disabled people to believe in themselves and reach for their dreams, Renita is a strong advocate and role model for people with disabilities due to the incredible life experiences and accomplishments that have shaped who she is today. And whereas Renita is very passionate about empowering people with and without disabilities to reach for and achieve their ambitions, in August, Renita will be representing Michigan and Kalamazoo in the national competition for Ms. Wheelchair Michigan 2026. On behalf of the 55th City Commission of the City of Kalamazoo, Mayor David Anderson, we recognize and celebrate Renita McGuire and the contribution she is making as an advocate for disabled people, educating, empowering, and encouraging them to believe in themselves and to reach for their dreams.
All right, well, I didn't realize that most of what I was going to say just got said, but I'll do it anyway. So hi, I'm Renita, Miss Wheelchair Michigan 2025. The Miss Wheelchair organization is an advocacy competition, so it's solely judged on the merits of what you've done with your life as a person with a disability and your advocacy contributions to the disabled community. As you've heard, I've gone through a tremendous amount of adversity throughout my life, but I kept fighting, kept dreaming, and I accomplished a lot. My platform, Adversity to Advocacy, Becoming the Role Model I Never Had, is about educating, empowering, and encourage young and newly disabled people to believe in themselves and reach for their dreams. But it's also about educating non-disabled people to help smash stereotypes and combat ableism. I don't always see people encouraging those of us with disabilities to reach for more than to just be happy with the bare minimum. But we can do so many things with the right support and encouragement. Through sharing my incredible story, mentoring others, representing, and empowering, I hope to plant the seeds for people with disabilities to be future advocates, teachers, athletes, entertainers, doctors, politicians, and so much more. When we open the minds and hearts of people with and without disabilities, we eradicate ableism, physical and attitudinal barriers. We create a sense of belonging and inclusion, and most importantly, we open the doors for everyone to live their best lives. It being July, I'd also like to recognize Disability Pride Month. For about 10 years now, July has been designated as Disability Pride Month, a time for people with disabilities and our allies to celebrate our identity, advocate for inclusion, and raise awareness about the many challenges we still face today, while also honoring our history and the trailblazers who fought for the rights and access we do have. Because of them, so many things are possible for me and many others like me, and I am forever grateful. I'd really love to see an annual Disability Pride celebration in Kalamazoo. A quarter of the population are people with visible and invisible disabilities throughout the nation. Anyone can become disabled at any time, and most will, in one way or another, if they live long enough. Disability impacts everyone. Kalamazoo has a huge, diverse population of people with invisible and visible disabilities. We're 10 years into celebrating Disability Pride Month. It's time we come together as a community, disabled and non-disabled, and celebrate the pride, progress, and power of our disabled residents. Thank you, Mayor David Anderson and the City of Kalamazoo for this amazing recognition. Kalamazoo and its citizens have done a lot for me, supporting me in all my wild ambitions throughout my life. In less than a month, I'll be representing Kalamazoo as I compete for Miss Wheelchair America in the national competition. I hope to make you all proud. Regardless of the outcome, I will continue to empower, educate, uplift, and inspire people through my advocacy long after my title. And happy Disability Pride Month.
Let's take a picture with this.
Okay. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for all your efforts. I appreciate your message, and thanks for just being with us here this evening. Thank you so much. Now on our agenda is the opportunity for adoption of the formal agenda. Commissioners, are there any items on consent agenda G that you would like to have moved to H, the regular agenda? All right, seeing none, the agenda stands. Communications, COO Lamb.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick things. We all know that downtown Kalamazoo is the place to be in the summer. We've got Restaurant Week is underway through July 26th. You've got lots of restaurants and businesses downtown offering special menus, lots of good things to see. We also have the 61st Annual Sidewalk Sales. Those are coming back July 24th through the 26th at Kalamazoo Mall. Great bargains, good food, entertainment. Encourage everyone to come down and enjoy. We also have the next summer cinema movie series is going to be this Friday in Crane Park. The movie selected by popular vote was If, and this is going to be starting off at 6 p.m. Got music, face painting, got concessions. The movie will kick off at about 7 p.m., and we're hoping for good weather in Crane Park. Lastly, this Saturday, you've got 2 opportunities for recycling. You can recycle your old styrofoam and your electronics at Mayor's Riverfront Park on Saturday between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. You can also bring scrap tires to the parking lot at 322 Stockbridge and be able to drop them off there. So there are details about scrap tire recycling at kalamazooconservation.org. I encourage everyone to take advantage of these opportunities.
Thank you very much, CO Lamb. I appreciate it. We are now on item E. This is an opportunity for public comments. Anyone who's here in the chambers is welcome to come forward. You'll have 4 minutes to comment on anything you're interested in. Please, if you would like a follow-up, sign in with your contact information, which is a sign-in sheet is available to you if you desire follow-up. And just a reminder, this is not a time for a dialogue. This is a time for you to take advantage of speaking about a topic that is important to you, to the commission here in a business meeting. Anybody who wants to make a public comment?
Hi, Mayor and City Commission. In the past, I've spoken to you about one of the main things is the try to get, especially when Ms. Lamb was talking about the restaurant week coming up. And I know I beat the dead horse a few times, but when the scooters, bikes, anything like that to help push that around, to help people get around and about, where they don't have to worry about getting in their car and can scoot around all over the town by just adopting that. It's like I was saying in the past, Lime is the company that Grand Rapids does it. I believe it's also in Lansing, and I'm certain they could easily pull that up here. And you would see a lot of commerce, a lot of restaurants. Maybe people bring their lunch here, but hey, why don't we try that restaurant on the other side of Bronson Park or wherever? You have a lot of restaurants downtown. So I just wanted to mention that. And the other thing is, I heard very recently that they're either dropping the Kalamazoo Promise, which I think is a great idea, because it's just an abject failure when I hear less than 1 in 4 students, because they're not prepared when they leave the public schools here, less than 1 in 4 make it beyond the first semester in the state schools, which is an appalling number, because they're not getting the fundamentals. And I know you're not the school board, but I think maybe it would be more important if the word gets out that you got to break the system down. I had a friend growing up in South Florida who went into the Marines, and he used to be a heavy alcoholic. This was 17, 18, he was drinking heavily, and his father was in the Marines, and he learned a very valuable lesson. They stripped him down to nothing, shaved everybody's head, and I know it's a little different analogy, but everybody was shaved down to the core, to the minimum, and he learned discipline. He became a shipbroker, and he's retired, and he said going to the Marines, a lot of it was physical, but more emotionally and mental, and it messed with him in a good way, and so he learned a lot. And I think the core values, the schools, I mean, if students, I don't know if they've ever contemplated uniforms. Uniforms to me would be a great idea, and I'm certain you could get a lot of, whether it's Stryker family or some of the local businesses that could purchase uniforms. When kids come to school with uniforms, they're all equal, and they don't have to worry about who's wearing Air Jordans, who's wearing these shoes, the latest designer clothes. They don't need that. They need core curriculum, even beginning with penmanship. I'm appalled when I see the younger students today. They can't even hold a pen or pencil properly. They don't know what cursive is. So, I mean, when it's broken down, it should go down to the very, strip it down. And I listened to the new superintendent, I can't remember his name, whatever his name is. I think he's trying very hard, and I think he wants those same accomplishments. But to push kids through the system, dumb down the curriculum, it's a recipe, it's a disaster waiting to happen. And that's why, from what I've heard, less than 1 in 4 makes it beyond the first semester when they utilize the Kalamazoo Promise. And those are abysmal numbers. And one final thing, for those, I'm a proponent of getting rid of the Department of Education simply because with all the money thrown at it, we're of the top 40 industrialized nations. We spend the most per student and have the worst test scores of the top 40 industrialized nations. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Ava Ballant. Thank you. My name is Ava Ballant. I'm a rising senior at Kalamazoo Central and Kalamazoo Area Math and Science Center. I'd like to thank you for taking this time this evening to hear my comment. I want to talk about algae blooms in the Kalamazoo River. Before I start, I extend my gratitude to the City Commission for the efforts they've put forth to manage nutrients that seep into the Kalamazoo River, specifically the stormwater management plan. It's one of the many significant steps that you've taken to reduce the frequency of algae blooms, and managing how nutrients flow into our Kalamazoo River is vital to protecting our wildlife. So again, thank you so much for protecting it. However, we can't stop there. Even though these significant steps have already been taken to mitigate algae blooms in the Kalamazoo River, environmental activism cannot be stagnant. Our world is forever changing, and we need to change with it. Through my time in high school, I've worked tirelessly in the environmental activism sphere, from conducting research on algae blooms and talking with my lawmakers. My life continues to mold around the preservation of our environment around us. I'm now taking this pressing issue of algae blooms in the Kalamazoo River into my own hands with an initiative to make rain barrels more common outside of every home. The Kalamazoo watershed is already doing a similar effort, though to get a rain barrel from them, you have to buy one, and this isn't an affordable option for your everyday person. It's about $56.60, and that's on sale. It's significantly more when it's not reduced. Leaving less of a footprint on our earth should not have a price tag, and there needs to be an affordable option. And so I'm taking this matter into my own hands, and I'm going to host an event at National Park, and this is the other option. It's going to be August 9th from 5 to 7:30, and all you need to do is provide an old garbage bin or storage container that you no longer use, and I'll show people in our community how to make it into a rain barrel. And so I'm hoping through this way we can make rain barrels more of a kind of staple in Kalamazoo, so we can fight for a more sustainable future for Kalamazoo. Again, that's August 9th from 5 to 7:30, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, next, please.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Tina. I live on Lake Street. I live in the lovely floodplain area. I'm here for one reason. I've always said build at the old DHS building, which I don't have a problem with that. But I'd like for you to fix the flooding in the area before you do, because you're going to build them buildings up higher than them homes around there. People on Reed Street, people on Stockbridge, their homes are going to flood just like mine now. There's a lot of areas in Kalamazoo that flood now. Our north side's been flooding too. It's time to fix your storm drain issues that flood out the streets. And no, we don't need any more storm drains, because that's what floods the streets out. But I'm just afraid when you build that building higher, just like KVCC Valley Hub did, when they took that 12 acres away, they built that building up high, that land up higher around our homes. So we started flooding more than we ever did before. So once you take these buildings and you build these buildings up higher, like you did the senior center and different buildings around us, you're building them up higher. Where's all that water gonna go? It's gonna go to the lowest point. And where's the lowest point? Your homeowners, your residents, the ones that already struggle with flooding. It's time to fix this problem. If you're gonna build, fix the problems and the issues first with your storm drains, your sewers that back up every time it floods. Your groundwater is already high, and then you're gonna add more water to it. When you were gonna build in our green space, Lift Foundation, Lisa Wilcott was gonna build in our natural green space, you were gonna have to take the sewers and run them over to Lake Street, because the sewers on Stockbridge wouldn't hold that value of sewage. So what are you going to do with the ones on Stockbridge? Are you going to run their sewage over there? We already have an overwhelmed sewage system in our neighborhood. It doesn't work. just like the storm drains. They don't work. Like I said, I'm just afraid you're going to make flooding worse, and now you're going to make people flood who never flooded before. Because every time you build up higher, your water goes to our homes. We wish we could take our homes and build them up higher. Then you wouldn't flood us out anymore. But we can't do that like you do a new building. You build it up higher, you hurt people. You make people struggle even more. And yes, we do need apartments and homes for people. Yes, I'm all for homes for people. But don't flood the residents out any worse than you already have. And I mean, that's my main concern. And plus that, you've had more homes. If rent wasn't so high in Kalamazoo, I don't know why rent is so high, but it's absolutely ridiculous. No wonder there's so many homeless people. I feed children at the Mission every single day. I see a lot while I'm there. I watch them people cook up food. They're not allowed to feed the children, but they can feed the adults that are in a program, in their long-term program. But we feed the children. But I watch these people, only 2 of them, cook all this food. And at nighttime, they have almost 300 people they're feeding. That's 300 people that don't have food to eat in Kalamazoo. I've been told they line up all the way down the street and around the corner by the clothing center. That's just how many people. They don't have an automatic dishwasher. They don't have the proper equipment to feed all these people, but yet they come up with ways to do it. I've seen a lot since I've been going there feeding the children there. And there's a lot of things that needs to be fixed in Kalamazoo. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Shona Espinoza. What I'm really noticing is that the only thing that really matters here is what rich white people want. We complain about how Trump is only focusing on that 1%, but what is Kalamazoo really doing? Are we focusing on our unhoused? Are we focusing on those that are in need? Are we focusing on there are so many school children that are unhoused? They have staff that's unhoused. We have veterans on the street that's unhoused. Seniors unhoused. Single mothers, single fathers, families out on the street. But what are we really doing to make sure that they have a safe place to go? A safe place for their children to be? So I see some of y'all down at the Dems office, and it just baffles me, because if you're a Dem, why are you not making sure that yours that are the most vulnerable being taken care of? We see what Trump is doing, and if you're doing the exact same thing in Kalamazoo, it's not about what the residents want. It's what about people coming in or those that have money in their pocket. We're steady building unnecessary things, millions and millions of dollars going into things that is only making the city look better. But it's not getting to the root of the problem. We have a housing crisis that is it's so bad. There's not even a safety net to make sure those that are paying these high rent with the little money that they make, to make sure they're not going to be unhoused. So can you just imagine when that big, beautiful bill rolls out, how many more people are going to be out on the street because they don't have work anymore? They don't have a place to stay because things are too high. They have to pay for their health care. They have to make sure that their kids have what they need. Things are too damn expensive. When are you guys going to wake up and realize it's a real problem out here? It's even worse because of this administration. We can't even count on y'all to do the right things. We're steady doing things to make sure the city is beautified, that the rich or those that have money, their needs are getting met, their wants are getting met. How is that making sure that our children have a safe place, have a future? What is it really doing? It's that making sure that few small percent is getting what they want. Who wanted that arena? That is ridiculous. Why are you guys steady building things that's not affordable? A one-bedroom, over $1,000? Who can afford that unless you are somebody that is rich, somebody that has money, or somebody that just married into a family that has money? That's not doing us no good at all. Our children deserve better. And if it was one of your children, one of your family members, one of your parents, one of your grandparents out on the street dealing with what's out there, homeless, cold, hot, hunger, with their kids, I bet there would be something that was really going to help. Because if it's us, you don't care. But if it's one of yours, you care. Do better. It's election year. Because I'm going to make sure those not doing their job is unseated one by one, starting with Mayor Anderson.
Thank you very much. Next.
I'm Kay. I don't know, the city is very quiet about what is happening with Trump's big, beautiful bill, supposedly, and the increase in ICE. This city does not have a 287G agreement like Kent County and Calhoun County, but it's like a midway point. You know, people come here and they go through here and then they're not safe anymore, right? There's at least that. But we really need the city to get loud about denouncing this agreement, the 287G agreement. In cities like Grand Rapids and Detroit, they're already pushing for sanctuary status. And their cities don't have budgets like Kalamazoo does with the Foundation for Excellence. So we definitely could be taking more initiative and supporting the people and figuring out what kind of safety nets this city can build for immigrant communities, for people to feel safe. Because otherwise, what's the difference between this city and all the other cities? Because this big, beautiful bill is going to make sure that even Kalamazoo residents get screwed out of Medicaid, get screwed out of food stamps. So, like, see the crisis for what it is. Some of you want to get reelected, some of you don't, but the culture needs to change, because we can't sit idly by anymore and be like, well, sitting in these seats is good enough, right? No, take a stand in your own personal areas, wherever you go and you coordinate with people, wherever you network. Take a stand. Take a stand for immigrants. Take a stand for the community. Take a stand for those people who voted you in. I know some of you got voted in by the rich, but you sure made it seem like you cared about the people. And so it's just like, you know, Michigan has the largest detention center now in Baldwin, and Communities Not Cages is amplifying local community organizing to end ICE detentions while illuminating the dangers of the Trump administration's multi-layered detention expansion plan. Okay, the bill is an appalling $150 billion targeting detention and deportation of people, including $45 billion for ICE detentions to detain families. And so in the next 4 years, we're gonna see an increase in a lot of things, and we need y'all to be ready. You guys were not ready to address the housing crisis when the ALIS statistics were presented to you, so like, we need to shift the culture in this inactive yes committee. There's a lot of issues that people come and bring before you, like the housing crisis. We talk about homelessness every single time. We talk about homelessness and the policing and the sweeps and how homeless people get harassed downtown, and nothing gets done. So like, definitely I'm happy to see the culture shift. I'm sad that Don Cooney is leaving, because he was one of the few people here who actually spoke out and like reminded y'all the work that needs to be done. Like, I hope that when these seats shift, that we can see a culture shift, because it's like, I've been coming here for so long, and like nothing that we say like happens, right? Nothing that, like, the community concerns, the flooding, the housing crisis, like there's no real urgency, right? If your house is on fire, you'd be calling people, figuring out what are you gonna do, right, to put out the fire, calling the emergency. You're probably, if there's no emergency, you'd be calling your friends, come over here, help me, right? This is what we need from y'all. We need y'all to be active, be saying, yes, we have a housing crisis. It's about to get worse because of the Trump administration and racism, and we need to start having these conversations, because we're not here to convince people that human rights matter anymore, because now then you're just siding with fascism. If you do not take a stand for human rights and against Trump supporters who want to disband the Department of Education instead of bolstering and holding the Department of Education accountable for the illiteracy rates, right, seeing the systemic issues with that, we want to disband things. No, stand up for what is right. Stand up for everything that is right.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hello, I'm Jody Dozman. I'm facing some issues with like the water contamination from the 3 ponds. Somehow I hope to inspire somebody enthusiastic that could help along with the program. But there should be a filtration system. You got sludge going down there, and there's lawyers calling about zip codes. So, I mean, somewhere somebody's going to get stuck with something in bad health. And when it comes to health, like the deworming day, having a 2-week period where you advertise on TV and everybody partakes if they need to go to the doctor, get tested if you have insurance, is what they express mostly at the hospital. But there's got to be ways like Lodge House. People should be having to do tests before they move into Lodge House, or maybe not tests, but get their vaccinations like you did in school. That would help slow down some of the problems. I mean, if they had, I don't know, I think that should be mandatory when people move into some of these places. And that Kalamazoo Inn, if that were remodeled and put more into housing, it'd slow the town down on the homeless stuff. They'd be more gathered where they could get set forth. I have some ideas with Jewish religion. I'm not getting too close to the communications. I'm a little nervous. They're a little different. And expectations are kind of, yeah, so, but I don't know. Something like that would be good for the waters if you had a filtration system and a reservoir for the police and put them out there. They're out there every day fighting for us. I mean, things like that would be nice for them to have. The water contaminations are, I guess, not too good in some of the zip codes. So with that, I guess I'll just say you have a nice night. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Evans, Miss Gigi. Hey, I was just listening to the people. I've worked 32 years for GM. Now I volunteer at the Treasure, and I'm sad. I'm sad because, I mean, I help and I pay for their stuff. I give them, hey, Miss Gigi, give me $2. Hey, Miss Gigi, this. But it gets sad. It gets sad for me because I'm saying, what is really going on? And I just heard those ladies, because I don't come to the meetings, nope, nothing personal, but it's sad. I don't know who's supposed to fix it, but I can't, because I told them, okay, a couple of you can come in my garage and sleep. And then my friend said, oh, no, Gigi, don't do that. But it's like, if you feel like you can do something, please do something, because I'm old and I just can't do it. I mean, going there is stressful, watching the people and the kids coming there, and they want this and that, and I buy it. But she said, no, you can't do that. Why can't I do it? Who says I can't? So I was listening to them, and I see it, and she's talking about water. Y'all know my water problem. And where I'm gonna go? If I go to a senior place, I'm not gonna be able to afford it. because it's too high, even after working 30-some years. So I'm just saying, it's stuff that can be fixed, and you guys have helped me, but it ain't working. I think I need gutters. The guy came and said I might need them, but I'm just speaking up because I'm part of this community, and I care about it, and they care about me because they show love and give love. But it's real sad at the treasure and the missions place, because I'm there just giving time. It's just sad. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good evening. My name is Pearl Brown. It has been quite some time since the last time I spoke here. 2018 was the last time that Kalamazoo saw the beginning of mass protests. Not the last time, the first time, of huge protests against ICE holds in front of the sheriff's office, protests against housing, the Bronson encampment that ended up with arrests. The city had since 2018 to come up with a better plan for the housing crisis. It is 2025. The housing crisis is worse. We have more people on the streets. And how me, as a daughter of an indigenous woman, can trust that this city will be able to protect my people if they can barely protect the most vulnerable. I really need the city to come up with a resolution to say that they are not going to cooperate with ICE or Border Patrol. I need them to hold to it and not just say it to placate. Because remember, those same people that are afraid, they have children who vote. They have children who are doctors, who are lawyers. They have children who could possibly run for a city commission. So if money is what's talking, we don't have to put money towards you. We can put it towards our community. If the city isn't going to help, the community is going to help our own. And we will protect our own if we have to. I'm done trying to come to a common ground. There's been time, and there's nothing to show for it but fancy buildings where people cannot afford to live. The gentrification of the north side, of the east side, and of the south side. You're pushing people out. And if that doesn't say red line, I don't know what does. Do better. Be better. Be the city that we know you are, that you can be. Do not pander to rich philanthropists because they hold dollars in front of you. Because in the end, all you're going to be left with is a city in rubble.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening. Jeff Messer, city resident and Rank My Vote volunteer since April 30, 2022. Only 2 days after becoming a Rank My Vote volunteer, I was already addressing the City Commission about our local ranked choice voting ballot initiative. From the beginning, we stated that our campaigns in Kalamazoo, East Lansing, Royal Oak, and Ann Arbor were a warm-up for a statewide petition drive for ranked choice voting. Well, that time has finally come. 4 days ago, on Thursday, July 17, we began our 175-day campaign to collect 611,231 petition signatures from any registered voter in the state of Michigan. This is to get our ranked choice voting constitutional amendment on the November 2026 statewide ballot, concurrent with the next gubernatorial election, which features a strong independent candidate. You can see the full text of our amendment by going to our website and clicking Our Petition under the Learn More tab. Our website is at rankmyvote.org, where my is MI, the postal abbreviation for Michigan. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. On our homepage, you'll find a giant Where Do I Sign button that lists some of the many places across the state of Michigan where you can sign our petitions. Here in the Kalamazoo area, we have 8 petition signing events listed for the next 6 days, and many more beyond that. If you want to sign my petition, the best place to catch me is on Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to noon on the Bank Street sidewalk at the Kalamazoo Farmers Market. I plan to be there every Saturday morning through the end of market season in November. We currently have 967 active volunteers across the state of Michigan, but we still need thousands more, including here in Southwest Michigan. If you'd like to make some new friends and be part of the largest all-volunteer citizen initiative in Michigan history, please sign up to volunteer on our website at rankmyvote.org/volunteer, or you can go to this QR code and just click the volunteer button. Rank My Vote is a 100% volunteer, grassroots organization where no one is paid, not even our executive director. We do this work because we believe in the power of ranked choice voting to improve our political climate for the better, encourage a greater quality, quantity, and diversity of candidates to run in the first place, and better represent the full spectrum of voter interests. We have volunteer positions you can do out in the field as well as from home. Out in the field, we're collecting petition signatures, recruiting volunteers, and educating people about the mechanics and benefits of ranked choice voting. From home, you can help us with phone banking, data entry, answering emails, graphic design, and anything else that can be done with a computer and internet connection. If you want to collect petition signatures, you must be a U.S. citizen at least 18 years old or older. There are no restrictions on the other volunteer positions. Again, sign up to volunteer on our website at rankmyvote.org/volunteer. Thank you, and now Nadine will be speaking. Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to step back a bit and share something exciting that's happening this week, which is NOMA Project Pipeline. In April, we were announced to have the architecture community recognized with a declaration, so thank you for that. The reason why I'm passionate about that camp is because I did not meet an architect until I was 20 years old, and I love the promise, and I am actually an Army kid, and I chose to make Kalamazoo my home because I believe and see the efforts that the city is trying to do to make a great community. Because I know how diverse this country is, I've lived in several different states. I've lived on a NATO base and an Army base in Germany as well. I know that there's a variety of voices. I was born in Ohio, and I didn't learn until I moved to Ohio how terrible that is, because there's big beef with the sports with Ohio and Michigan. I only lived in Ohio 9 months, and then we moved around a lot of my life, and then I chose Michigan. And I can't help but think about that blind hate that I receive when I, say that I'm born in Ohio by a very strong Michigan fan. I feel that same energy with our culture of voting, and I'm tired of the whiplash, the back and forth that has happened. I just looked up statistics, and we had 60% turnout, about 60% turnout in this last election, and so really in total, that's what 30% of the country deciding of who our next leaders are. And so a big reason why I volunteer and
give part of my very busy schedule to this grassroots movement is because I believe there needs to be a shakeup in how our votes are represented. And I believe with more voices, we deserve more choices to be able to rank running candidates in order. We know that this has worked in Ireland. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. Maine has adopted this. Alaska has adopted this. Cities in New York have adopted this as well. And I would love to see Kalamazoo be the leading in signatures. So if you see us out there with these clipboards, please make sure there's a lot of petitions going out. Make sure that it is the Rank My Vote. Most of us will have the duct tape around because we built them ourselves. And I would love to see education moving forward with voting. A lot of my friends chose not to vote this past election because they felt like their vote was being thrown out. And I believe that if we change the system so that we can rank our votes, more people will be encouraged to actually show up and use their constitutional rights to cast their votes. We will be at many community events coming out to Lollapalooza, it's Lollapalooza, the Blueberry Festival, any public event. If we can find volunteers, we will be there. So we just encourage the public to say hello and give us a bit of our time. Please look at our website to learn more information, and we hope to get your support, and if not, maybe help you want to educate yourself a little bit more on how our voting structure actually works in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to take advantage of this opportunity for public comment?
Hello, everyone. Silvano Venegas. Just wanted to amplify some voices we heard earlier. I read a report earlier this week that homelessness in Kalamazoo is up 19% this year, and that's just the ones that we can count, right? So what are we doing about that? Also, one thing that I'd like you guys to keep in mind is that people that look like me, brown people in this town, are scared. They're scared to go to work. They're scared to go to the grocery store. They're scared to do their daily chores. They're scared to go to the park. We need to do something about that collectively, and I think part of what we can do, looking at you, City Attorney, is put out resolutions that we don't support the racist policies that the Trump administration is doing, and make them sue us. There's no nationwide injunctions anymore. We can be the change that we want to see in our communities. So that's all I ask of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Seeing no one else, I just want to thank everybody who took the time and made the effort to come down and speak here at our City Commission meeting and provide a public comment. Thank you so much. Next, our consent agenda. Chief Operating Officer Lamb.
Thank you. Item 1, approval of a contract supplemental and change order with Whiteman & Associates Incorporated for construction engineering for the Westnedge Avenue Improvements Project in the amount of $134,585. 2, approval of a contract supplemental and change order with Carrier and Gavel for traffic signals, controllers, components, and equipment in the amount of $300,000. 3, approval of a change order to contract 235104 with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the construction of the Whites Road improvements, Oakland Drive to Westnedge Avenue project in the amount of $946,580.78. 4, approval of an administrative order on consent with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for compliance enforcement of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Permit number M100-23299 at the Kalamazoo Water Reclamation Plant improvements and the associated compliance schedule. And number 5, approval of the minutes from the Committee of the Whole meetings on January 27th, February 3rd, February 17th, March 3rd, March 8th, March 17th, April 7th, April 21st, and July 7th, 2025, and the business meetings on February 17th, April 7th, April 21st, and July 7th, 2025.
Thank you very much, COO Lamb. Commissioners, the requested action is a motion to approve items 1 through 5 and authorize the city manager to sign all related documents on behalf of the city. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hoffman.
Support.
Supported by Vice Mayor Hess. Clerk Borling, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Yes.
Commissioner Pradle.
Yes, but Clerk Borling, in the minutes approval for July 7th, I just want to edit to make on the commissioner comments where Alonzo Wilson was naming individuals who had been victims of gun violence. It wasn't just the victims over the 4th of July, it was all the victims from 2025, and I think that's an important distinction, but otherwise I say yes.
Okay. Vice Mayor Hess.
Yes.
Mayor Anderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Cooney.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. The items on the consent agenda are approved. Next, reports and legislation. COO Lamb, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. Thank you. To start off, I'd like to have Chief Dave Boyson come back up again to give another update on KDPS's response on some of the recent increases in violence in the city. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I just want to, again, thanks CEO Lamb for the opportunity to give an update. After our 4th of July evening, we had 4 shooting incidents within a 4-hour period involving several people. As I stated at the City Commission meeting following that Monday, that we were going to do an enforcement action and work hard to identify those individuals who are involved, and basically all hands on deck doing extra patrols, reassignments to address the violence. A lot of it was driven by youth and young offenders. So as I said before, I had a lot of confidence in the team at Public Safety, as well as our street outreach team, that they could, their work would get a handle on this and get ahead of it. And I'm happy to report that they worked very hard to get ahead of this. They identified 10 individuals who were involved in driving a lot of this violence. They were able to make 10 arrests, seize 10 firearms. Sadly, most of these were youth aged 15 to 19. We worked with the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office to get high cash bonds on these individuals to get them off the street for a while, lodged in the juvenile home so we could calm things down, and we were able to do that. And since that July 4th weekend, our youth shootings virtually have gone to 0. So I was very happy about that, and hopefully we'll continue that. And again, a shout out to our street outreach team who's constantly engaging with our youth, trying to get ahead of this, as well as our officers who worked a lot of extra hours and worked hard to get ahead of this. Unfortunately, over the weekend, we had a few adults that chose to engage in gun violence. We had 3 adults that were involved in shooting incidents that we're working hard to address that as well. But our youth violence luckily has been tampered down a little bit, and hopefully that will continue. Also want to give us some more attention and shout out to our gun amnesty program, and that's, again, we've got far too many youth in possession of firearms. And so we're working hard with our pastors on patrol. Pastor Jennings is the lead of this, and we've got many area churches that are participating. So if you're a parent, and I'll just repeat this again, if you're a parent and you know your kid is at risk of engaging in gun violence, and you find a gun in their possession that they shouldn't have, maybe you find it in their bedroom or in their backpack or whatever, we encourage you to turn that gun in. You can call one of the churches if you go to KalamazooPublicSafety.org or just type in the search bar Kalamazoo Gun Amnesty. It'll take you right to our page, and I'll tell you the numbers to call. You can just call a church, talk to the pastor, make arrangements to drop that gun off, and no questions asked. And we've had over 10 guns turned in through this program. Many of them were from youth. So every gun we get off the street out of the hands of the kids is a success. So hopefully we'll get a lot more. But again, we're continuing to work hard and following up on these. Overall, violence is down, but from last year and the previous 5 years, but one shooting is too many. And so again, we're trying to keep a lid on that as we get through the summer.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any questions? Commissioner Cooney.
I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Yeah.
I do the comments, okay. So thank you, Chief. I really appreciate your response. I've heard you say time and again that the emphasis is always on prevention. Yes. We will help you if you let us. We will stop you if you make us. And I'm going to thank you and the other police officers for the response to this and calming things down. I think we have to keep thinking about how we can provide alternatives for our young people. I am of the opinion that we need a youth center on the north side of Kalamazoo. I'm hoping that the Boys and Girls Club, when it opens, will make a big difference in the Edison area. But we have to keep working to do much more for our young people. We've made some great efforts, put a lot of money into summer programs. The Police Athletic League and stuff that Johnny's doing is great. but we still have to reach out to these guys. You know, GVI and Urban Alliance are doing that. They need help. All of us need to work to try to create these alternatives for our young people so they don't end up there.
Yeah, and Commissioner, just on that, you know, we know that a few of our youth are engaging in this. It's not a lot of our youth, it's just a small number of them. And many of the youth, sadly, that we arrested over this last week, the street outreach team had been engaging with, had been trying to work with. They've been talking to their parents, and unfortunately there are some people that don't get the message, and that's where enforcement has to come in. But we certainly try to do the mediation and engagement first. But again, if we have to protect the community, and if they aren't getting the message, we have to use enforcement. But we know that there's a lot of programs out there that we wish more kids would take advantage of. Our Police Athletic League is up and running. Midnight basketball is going on. There's been very good participation in that. So a lot of these other programs, summer fishing is going on now. So there's a lot of programs out. Parks and Rec have a lot of good programs. And so hopefully more people will take advantage of those for sure.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Commissioner Cooney. Any other thoughts or questions, Commissioners, at this time? Vice Mayor Hess.
You reminded me, Commissioner Cooney, about the Keeping the Faith and Interfaith is this Thursday, a celebration for the youth, especially in the interfaith neighborhood, from 3 to 5:30 or something, is it? Do you know the time?
Yeah, I think it starts at 3.
Yeah, but it's right behind the Douglas, and it's a wonderful celebration for the kids in that neighborhood.
Other comments? Yeah, Commissioner Prater.
Sure. I'll echo Commissioner Cooney. I know both of us were really passionate, worked on youth funding towards the end of the pandemic, and the unfortunate thing is that was very much fed by ARPA funding. You know, we're really going to need to lean on community to support organizations as much as possible, especially mentorship organizations. So, you know, as people are listening, please, you know, if you feel like you want to get involved, feel like supporting young people, there are so many great mentorship organizations within this community that you can get involved with. Organizations that are supporting our youth, keeping our youth busy during the summer that need our financial support because they're seeing cuts from the federal government, cuts from, you know, donors who are, you know, cutting back a little bit these days. So we really need to lean on community to support those organizations that are trying to help and support and lift up our youth.
Any other thing? Thank you. Once again, thank you, Chief. And just along those lines, since we're just commenting on this, is that lots of current opportunities, more can be done, but at the end of the day, you don't have to be part of some big program to make a difference. Any adult in the community can engage with one young person, and that can make all the difference in the world. So, I mean, adults just reaching out, adults are going in the community are going to be a big piece. I mean, helping get people involved in programs, just being a friend and a mentor, that sort of thing. And there are also organizations, I think that's very important, that are supporting parents. And sometimes parents feel stressed and don't feel, you know, don't have the time, not always there. So we need to make sure that those kinds of resources are available and parents are aware of that. I think it's fantastic, Chief, that we have the amnesty program. We're encouraging parents to come in, you know, no repercussions on the criminal side if you find a firearm in your home that might be being in the possession of a young person in that home, but just for parents to feel that there are opportunities to be supported in the efforts they're making to help their young people have a successful life. So thanks for your report on this. It is always devastating when we get the notification, sometimes in the middle of the night, that there has been, you know, been another shooting, and it's can be discouraging. So we've got to keep hope alive and keep working forward on that. So thank you so very much. Anything else, COO Lamb?
Just one more quick update on our Parks and Rec department. We have 2 new special event coordinators that we've hired. Zach Farley is a Western graduate. He was an intern with the department, went on to work for the Air Zoo for a little bit as special event coordinator, has now come back to the city. And then Morgan Gillis, also graduated from Western, is going to be joining as well. So we're excited to have both Zach and Morgan on our team to help with special events. Lastly, the Farmers Market building continues to progress on schedule. So work is moving along. They finished the structure. They finished the roof. Now they're moving inside. Right now, still looks like we're on schedule to be completed by the end of September. So if you haven't been by the farmers market recently, please come on by. It's looking fabulous, and it's going to look better. And that's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all that. Now is the opportunity for commissioner comments. Any commissioners that like to? Commissioner Pradel.
Appreciate the opportunity, Mayor. I see there are a couple people in the audience who are considering running for city commission, and I recognize tomorrow is the deadline to turn in plans to run, if I'm not mistaken.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock tomorrow. And it just made me think about those individuals as you're kind of weighing this run and seeing what's coming next. When we're up here, we definitely hear the frustrations, the anger. Any warm-blooded person on this in the city, but certainly on this planet, should be irate with a lot of the challenges we as humanity, but certainly facing locally and nationally, are facing. And there is so much more we need to do as a community, but I wanted to just list out for those people who are running really quick the work that we've tried to do to push to support this community and lift this community. Most recently, RX Kids, and supporting that new program in Kalamazoo, the second community in the state of Michigan behind Flint. We supported and were the second largest investor of a family shelter, invested $500,000 for homelessness, which had never been done before as a city. All told, we've invested $33 million in housing, mostly from our ARPA dollars that we received from the federal government. We devoted more dollars for youth programming in the history of Kalamazoo over the course of a 3-year period using ARPA dollars, supporting over 30 organizations that were supporting youth programming in the wake of the pandemic as we saw rising violence. Year over year, from 2023 to 2024, we worked diligently making homicides our #1 priority, reducing homicides in our city by 57%. Created victims advocates within public safety. I actually got a call today at my job from one of our victims advocates who was trying to help place a family with 5 kids who was unhoused. And I think Commissioner Hoffman, you heard from that same person. That unit did not exist years ago. That wouldn't have happened. We had 41 recommendations for public safety from OIR report. If I'm not mistaken, Chief, all 41 of those recommendations were worked on or accomplished. We were recently recognized by the federal government as a leader in the nation, having celebrated our 5,000th lead service line replacement. When Director Baker came here to the city, we were investing the same amount or less as 3 rivers on our entire $250,000 water and sewer infrastructure. This last budget, we've invested well over $100 million in 1 year on improving our infrastructure. We legalized recreational marijuana, an issue that's plagued communities throughout the whole country for generations. Created a cannabis chamber to try to give a leg up to people who had been disproportionately impacted by cannabis. We are tackling the two-way conversion of our streets, which has been an issue we've grappled for over 60 years, which was largely led by outlying legislators in the state, by racism and redlining. We got us through the COVID-19 pandemic, investing and saving dozens of small businesses in our community by investing them before the federal government was even able to invest in them. In 2022, we approved a sustainability plan creating positions in our community, and in the next 2 years, every single facility and electrical usage in the city is going to be powered by solar panels. We settled a 40-year agreement with our outlying townships that we've been fighting for decades that cost taxpayers over $1 million of litigating. We created a DEI department, instead stood steady with it, in fact codified it into our laws to make it enshrined. Those are just the things that I could think of off the top of my head that have happened since the pandemic that this commission has taken the lead on. And the reality is like so many people have mentioned, the challenges that we're facing, aside from the pandemic, are going to get even more challenging and even more difficult. So those people who are thinking about running for city commission, it's time to saddle up, because it's going to be a tough job to do, and it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of heart to do. But we're going to need the support and the encouragement from the community to continue doing this hard work and to do whatever piece that you can do to support us to do it, because it's just the beginning. And we've seen what's happening at the federal level, and like somebody very wisely said, I think it was Silvano that said this, homelessness has gone up 19% in our community. And that was before the significant cuts that we've seen to the federal government. And so we need to be ready to support each other, not tear each other apart, to tackle this hard work. I wish you all the best of luck in your campaigns. I'm excited that hopefully at least one or two individuals will be joining us up here later this year. I wanted to just mention Eva, I think it was Eva from Kalamazoo Central. I think it's really cool what you're doing. If you get a chance, hopefully put your contact information. I have some ideas for you about maybe some resources that we could get to try to help people with rain barrel costs that my organization's had some success with. So if you get a chance to talk afterwards, I'd love to chat with you, but thanks for all the hard work that you're doing. But otherwise, appreciate the service with everybody. Wishing Godspeed to our two colleagues who are on a plane still over to Japan. And look forward to seeing you all next time.
Thank you, Commissioner Pradel. Other commissioners, comments? Vice Mayor Hess.
I'll go. Thank you, Commissioner Pradel. Appreciate that. And Ava, thank you for coming. I ran into Ava at the National Day of Summer Learning over at Bronson Park. Talk about kids, talk about youth, talk about hope and positivity. There were hundreds of children there being led and fed and just being able to be kids and play and see the resources that are available in the city for children and for youth on that National Day of Summer Learning, which we proclaimed the first meeting in July. So that was wonderful, and Ava took on her own initiative, had a table there, talking to the young people about what she was doing and being a role model. Like Mayor Anderson was saying, we all need to be a role model for someone somewhere. So thank you for that, and absolutely appreciate your efforts on that. I wanted to say a few things about our city manager search and keep everyone in the loop about that. Every meeting, I hope to be able to bring more news, or we hope to be able to bring more news about what's going on. First of all, commissioners have just wrapped up this week with their one-on-ones with Pamela Weidman from Raftelis, our search firm. Pamela will be consolidating her notes and moving to our next steps, engaging city staff, and then followed by the residents. Secondly, the committee is working in touch with our Human Resources Department and Raftelis to work on the timeline for this city manager search. And third, behind the scenes, our city staff have been working diligently on tools to engage community, including a landing page and a community survey. So there will be information out there soon on our city manager search that folks can just go to and have input there. So that's what we have right now. And we want to make sure that we continue to share with the community on a regular basis what's going on. Secondly, Isaac, the folks, if you're listening, folks at Isaac, I really appreciate, I've been getting emails, I don't know if any of you have, but they have been sending emails of inspiration from faith leaders for a time of encouragement, hope, resistance, strength, and action. And more than ever, we need that, and especially from our faith leaders. We really need those words of encouragement for what we need to do together as a community. So thank you, Isaac, for that. Got an email about Thursday, July 31st, if people haven't heard about this, at Upjohn Park from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's Love Week with Valley Family Church, where groceries, produce, back-to-school backpacks, which are stocked, diapers, formula, and a cookout, and face painting, and inflatables, and fun for families will be there, and it's all free at Upjohn Park from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, July 31st. Lastly, and then another time of community gathering and information sharing in the community is National Night Out on August 5th. And for each neighborhood, there may be a different time, but they start, I believe, somewhere around 4 o'clock and go all the way through 9 o'clock for the different for the different neighborhoods. So please attend your National Night Out, get to know your neighbors, get to see what's available in your neighborhood and other neighborhoods if you can make it there. And then just lastly, I'd like to say, again, Commissioner Pradel, during this election year, I hope that we are civil. I hope that everyone can find the fact that this up here is a team effort, that we are working together towards something greater than ourselves, and that it won't be one of us that will fix it. It is a team effort, and I appreciate the work of the city manager's office and the folks in directors of all the departments working on all of the issues that we put forward as being important to us. So thank you for that. And and one more thing, Mr. Lasser, the Kalamazoo Promise is funded in perpetuity, so it is not going away. The Kalamazoo Promise will be continuing to serve the city, the Kalamazoo Public Schools in perpetuity. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Hess. Other comments, commissioners? All right, thank you so much. So first off, I just do want to say, appreciate seeing my colleagues again. It's a pleasure working with you. I know Don working through some health issues, and here you are, right back, just like that. So huge blessing for us. I appreciate that very much. Lots of caring and support going your way. Love you. And Commissioner Pradel, that's an impressive list, and thank you for just going back and thinking about all those things. It is certainly a challenge for people who run for this seat because you want to make this community a better place, and to see the things that you are capable of doing and the things that you may be able to do and some of the things that in the full measure are not possible to address with the resources we have. And it's so, so important for us not to begin fighting with each other as a community, but try to find ways to work together to solve these things. And I can tell you, I've mentioned this before, but one of the unbelievable blessings for me sitting in this seat is getting to go to all the events in Kalamazoo where people on their own are participating in nonprofits, doing work in their neighborhoods, working with seniors, working with youth, working with organizations to help feed people, to provide shoes for young people, on and on and on. I don't even think even you, Commissioner Pradel, could probably not make a list of all those things that are going on in Kalamazoo. And that is the fabric that ties a community together and gives us all an opportunity to succeed. So I just want to say thank you all the way across the board, which doesn't mean that we don't need to keep thinking of ways we can work together better. Just as a reminder, we're talking about elections, just as a reminder, 3 commissioners, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Pradel, and actually Vice Mayor Hess, are not up for election, have 2 more years in their terms. Also, this is the representative of the committee right now that is helping work directly with our contract entity to help move the city manager hiring process forward. So thank you. I look forward to the regular reporting there. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that extra effort and that work. Appreciate all of you. I love you, Kalamazoo. We're adjourned.